Did you know that after 50, most men lose up to 30% of their quad strength? Not because the muscle disappears, and not simply because of aging. While everyone keeps telling you to squat heavier and push through the pain, something else is happening behind the scenes. Your nervous system is quietly disconnecting from the very muscles you need most. This is not a gym problem. This is a wiring problem. Your legs are not weak because you are getting older. Your legs are weak because your brain stopped trusting them. In this video, I will show you 6 specific movements that bypass the squat entirely and rebuild the strength chain that has been quietly going dark since your 40s. You will also see a simple 3-week protocol designed to reconnect your quads, glutes, hips, calves, and stabilizing muscles, so your legs start working together again the way they were designed to. If you are over 60 and your legs feel weaker than they used to, or your knees complain every time you walk, what you are about to see may change everything. Before we begin, write your name and where you are watching from in the comments. I always enjoy seeing people from all across the country following along. Exercise 1 is called the eccentric box step down, and it directly rebuilds the connection between your brain and your quadriceps. Most people think the quads simply get weaker with age. That is not the full story. What often happens is that the nervous system slowly stops sending strong signals to those muscles. When that signal weakens, the muscle stops firing properly. Strength fades, stability fades, and the knees begin taking stress they were never designed to handle. The eccentric box step down is designed to restore that signal. What makes this movement powerful is that it loads the muscles exactly where they need it most during the lowering phase. Studies on eccentric muscle contractions show that the slow, controlled descent forces the quadriceps and glutes to activate more deeply than many traditional exercises. And surprisingly, research has shown that this movement can activate the gluteus maximus even more effectively than a standard squat. That means you get a highly targeted muscular load with almost no compression on the knee joint. But here is the mistake almost everyone makes. They rush the descent. They step down quickly, tap the floor, and push back up. When that happens, the most important part of the exercise disappears. The rebuilding happens during the slow lowering phase. That is where the muscles are forced to control your body weight and where the nervous system relearns how to engage the quads and glutes together. Slow lowering is where the muscles actually rebuild. To perform the eccentric box step down, stand on a small step about 4 inches high. Shift your weight onto one leg. Slowly lower the opposite foot toward the floor over about 3 to 5 seconds. Keep your hips level and do not let them drop to one side. As you lower, make sure the knee tracks forward over the second toe instead of collapsing inward. Lightly touch the floor and then press through your heel to come back up. When done correctly, you should feel tension deep in the front of the thigh and the back of the hip at the same time. Follow a simple 3-week progression. During week 1, perform 3 sets of 6 repetitions with a controlled 3-second descent. During week 2, increase to 8 repetitions and slow the descent even further. By week 3, aim for 10 repetitions with a full 5-second lowering phase. After 3 weeks, something important begins to happen. The quadriceps reconnect with the nervous system, and the glutes begin waking up again. When those two muscles start firing together, the entire foundation of leg strength begins rebuilding from the ground up. Exercise 2 is called the seated band abduction, and it targets one of the most overlooked causes of knee pain after 50. Most people believe knee pain starts in the knee. It does not. Most knee pain is actually a hip problem. The muscle responsible is the gluteus medius. It sits on the outer side of your hip, and its job is to stabilize your knee every time your foot hits the ground. It keeps your thigh aligned so your knee tracks properly with each step. When this muscle becomes weak, something subtle but damaging begins to happen. The knee starts collapsing inward, not once, but with every step you take. That inward collapse creates friction inside the joint. Friction turns into irritation. Irritation turns into pain. And over time, pain turns into injury. For many men over 60, the knee is not the problem. The knee is paying the price for a hip muscle that stopped doing its job years ago. The seated band abduction is designed to fix that at the source. What makes this movement so effective is its simplicity. You do not need balance. You are not loading the joint. There is no compression on the knees or the spine. It is pure activation of the lateral hip. But here is the mistake almost everyone makes. They use a band that is too strong. The knees snap outward and then snap back. The movement becomes momentum instead of control. And when that happens, the gluteus medius does almost nothing. This muscle does not respond to heavy resistance. It responds to control. To perform the seated band abduction, sit upright on the edge of a chair with your feet flat on the floor about hip-width apart. Place a light resistance band just above your knees. From that position, slowly push your knees outward against the band. When you reach the end, hold that position for about 2 to 3 seconds. You should feel the tension on the outer side of your hips, not in your thighs. Then return slowly to the starting position. Keep your back straight. Do not lean side to side. Follow a simple 3-week progression. During week 1, perform 3 sets of 10 repetitions with a 2-second hold. During week 2, increase to 12 repetitions and hold for 3 seconds. By week 3, perform 15 repetitions and move to a slightly stronger band. As the gluteus medius begins to wake up again, something important changes. The outer hip becomes stable. The knee stops collapsing inward. The friction inside the joint begins to drop. And when that happens, walking starts to feel smoother, safer, and more controlled again. Exercise 3 is called the elevated glute bridge, and it targets one of the biggest hidden problems after 50. For years, most people sitting in cars, sitting at tables, sitting in front of screens, and slowly, the glutes begin to shut down. They do not disappear, they go offline. When that happens, the body starts compensating. The lower back takes over work it was never designed to handle. The knees start absorbing force that should be controlled by the hips. That is where stiffness begins. That is where pain begins. The elevated glute bridge is designed to reverse that. It reactivates the glutes and reconnects them with the hamstrings, the 2 most powerful muscles in your body. Research on posterior chain activation shows that when these muscles fire properly, load shifts away from the joints and back into the muscle system where it belongs. The elevated version makes this even more effective. By placing your feet on a low surface, you increase the range of motion. The glutes are forced to work from a deeper stretch and produce a stronger contraction at the top. At the same time, there is almost no compression on the spine and minimal stress on the knees. But here is where most people fail. They rush the movement. The hips go up and drop down with no control. And the glutes never fully activate. The squeeze at the top is where the power comes from. To perform the elevated glute bridge, lie on your back with your feet placed on a low bench, chair, or couch. Your heels should be close to the edge. From there, press through your heels and lift your hips toward the ceiling. At the top, your body should form a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Hold that position and squeeze your glutes hard for about 2 to 3 seconds. Then lower slowly, with control. Do not arch your lower back. The movement comes from the hips. Follow a simple 3-week progression. During week 1, perform 3 sets of 8 repetitions with a 2-second squeeze at the top. During week 2, increase to 10 repetitions and hold for 3 seconds. By week 3, perform 12 repetitions and add a small amount of weight across your hips if you can maintain full control. When the glutes and hamstrings begin working together again, everything downstream improves. The hips stabilize, the knees stop taking unnecessary load, and movement starts to feel stronger, smoother, and more natural again. Exercise 4 is called the deficit calf raise, and it strengthens the part of your body that controls every step you take. Your calves and your Achilles tendon are the final link between your body and the ground. Every time you walk, they absorb force, stabilize your movement, and push you forward. When they weaken, your steps become softer, less stable, and less controlled. That is when balance starts to decline. That is when posture begins to shift. That is when walking no longer feels solid. The deficit calf raise is designed to rebuild that foundation. What makes this version different is the range of motion. By letting your heels drop below your toes, the calf muscle and Achilles tendon are forced through their full length. This full stretch at the bottom and full contraction at the top are what stimulate the tendon to become stronger again. Research on tendon adaptation shows that controlled loading through a full range is what restores strength and resilience to the Achilles. But most people do it wrong. They bounce. They use momentum to get up and drop quickly on the way down. When that happens, the tendon does not receive the signal it needs. Full stretch and full contraction rebuild the tendon. To perform the deficit calf raise, stand with the balls of your feet on the edge of a step or a thick book with your heels hanging off. Lightly hold onto a wall or chair for balance if needed. Slowly lower your heels down until you feel a full stretch in your calves. Pause at the bottom. Then rise up as high as you can onto your toes and pause again at the top. Move slowly. Control every inch of the movement. Follow a simple 3-week progression. During week 1, perform 3 sets of 10 repetitions using only your body weight. During week 2, increase to 12 repetitions and hold briefly at both the bottom and the top. By week 3, perform 15 repetitions and add a light dumbbell if you can maintain control. As your calves and Achilles become stronger, your steps begin to change. They feel more grounded, more stable, more deliberate. And when your steps become stronger, your entire body starts moving with more confidence again. Exercise 5 is called the single leg Romanian deadlift, and this is where the truth about your body starts to show. Up to this point, you have been rebuilding strength. Now you expose what has been hiding for years. Most people over 60 have imbalances they do not even realize. One side is stronger, one hip is more stable, one hamstring works harder than the other. Traditional exercises hide these problems because both legs share the load. This movement does not allow that. The single-leg Romanian deadlift forces each side of your body to work on its own. It integrates the hamstrings, the glutes, and your proprioception, your body's ability to sense position and control movement. This system is critical for balance, coordination, and joint protection as you age. But here is the mistake almost everyone makes. They turn this into a balance exercise. They wobble, they rush, and they focus on not falling. That is not the goal. The goal is the hip hinge. Balance is a byproduct of a correct hinge. To perform the single-leg Romanian deadlift, stand on one leg with a slight bend in the knee. If needed, hold a light dumbbell in the opposite hand. From there, push your hips straight back while keeping your spine neutral and your chest long. As your hips move back, your upper body will lean forward naturally, and your back leg will extend behind you as a counterbalance. Lower until you feel a deep stretch in the hamstring of the standing leg. Then press through your heel and return to the starting position. Move slowly. Stay in control. Follow a simple 3-week progression. During week 1, perform 3 sets of 6 repetitions per leg using body weight only. During week 2, increase to 8 repetitions or add a light weight if you can maintain control. By week 3, perform 10 repetitions and gradually increase the load. When this movement is done correctly, something powerful happens. The weak links begin to strengthen, the imbalances start to disappear, and your body begins to move as one coordinated system again. Exercise 6 is called the farmer's carry, and this is where everything comes together. Up to this point, you have rebuilt individual pieces. Now, you test the entire system under real movement. Because real life does not happen lying on the floor or standing in one place. It happens when you move while carrying load, groceries, bags, everyday tasks. The farmer's carry forces your body to do exactly that. It integrates your core, your ankles, your posture, your grip, and your gait into one coordinated action. Every step requires your spine to stay stable, your ankles to absorb force, and your muscles to work together in real time. This is what functional strength actually looks like. But here is where most people go wrong. They grab weights that are too heavy, their shoulders drop, their body leans forward, their steps become unstable. At that point, the exercise stops building strength and starts building risk. The rule is simple. Your posture should not change under load. To perform the farmer's carry, pick up 2 dumbbells of equal weight. Stand tall with your shoulders back, chest up, and core engaged. From there, walk forward in a straight line with slow, controlled steps. Your eyes stay forward, your body stays upright. Each step should feel grounded and deliberate. Do not let the weight pull you out of position. Follow a simple 3-week progression. During week 1, perform 3 sets of a 20-meter walk using a light weight that allows perfect posture. During week 2, increase the distance to 25 meters and add a small amount of weight if you remain stable. By week 3, walk 30 meters and increase the weight until the final portion feels challenging without breaking your posture. When this movement is done correctly, everything begins to work as one system. The legs stabilize, the core supports, the ankles absorb impact, and your body moves with strength that carries over into real life. Now step back and look at what you have just rebuilt. 6 movements, no squats, and a complete reconstruction of the strength chain that most men slowly lose after the age of 50 without even realizing it. You did not just train your legs. You restored the signal between your brain and the muscles that control how you move. You reactivated the glutes that shut down after years of sitting. You stabilized the hips that protect the knees. You strengthened the calves and Achilles that anchor every step. And you integrated everything back into real movement. This is not just exercise. This is a reset of the system that allows your body to walk, stabilize, and carry load the way it was designed to. Because what most people call aging is often something else entirely. It is years of muscles slowly going offline, joints compensating, and the nervous system losing confidence in the body. But when the right muscles start firing again, the entire structure begins to change. Walking becomes smoother, standing up feels easier, your steps become more stable, and the quiet fear of losing strength begins to fade. So here is the real question. Are you going to keep training the way you have always done? Or are you finally going to start training the way your body actually needs at this stage of life? Here is your challenge. Run this entire protocol 3 times a week for 3 weeks. Just 3 weeks. By the end of that time, most people notice something surprising. Their legs feel stronger. Their steps feel more grounded. Movements that once felt stiff or unstable begin to feel natural again. In 3 weeks, your legs can feel completely different. And if this video helped you understand why leg strength declines after 50 and how to rebuild it the right way, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Every week, this channel shares training strategies that most coaches are still years behind on, designed specifically to help you stay strong, mobile, and independent as you get older.